But first, even though tomorrow is being billed as the Super Bowl of politics, the reality is that we'll likely not have any winners, especially in the Clinton-Obama race. And that's because the Democrats, adhering to their prosperity for all mantra, award most delegates proportionately. In other words, unlike the big bad survival of the fittest Republicans who have more winner-take-all contests, the Democrats divide them up. Coming a close second in Connecticut, you might still walk away with 20 delegates. Now, while that might seem fair, it's also likely to result in all of us waking up on Wednesday morning to a Democratic race that's tighter and more confusing than ever. Julian Epstein is a Democratic strategist and founder of LMG. Chris Wilson is a Republican strategist and CEO of Wilson Research Strategies. And Josh Green is a senior editor at The Atlantic. Julian, the big mo, to quote Bush 41, certainly seems to be with Obama. Why?
Well, I think that's correct. I think it's mostly still coming off of South Carolina. And if you look at the national polls today, it shows certainly a tightening. Also, Edwards leaving the race, I think they have broken more towards Obama than Clinton thus far. But if you look at the state-by-state races, which is very, very important, Clinton is still ahead by a significant margin in all but 3 of the Super Tuesday states. She also has more superdelegates. So I think she's still in the lead. And it's very, very difficult to measure the precise trajectory of Obama's momentum, but he does have momentum. There's no question about it.
Hey, Josh, you know, Americans are used to tuning into headline news and watching the coverage, and Glenn has special coverage here tomorrow night. But I think we ought to let folks know this is not one of those evenings where all of a sudden California goes a particular color, because it's possible that someone could win the popular vote in, say, California on the Democratic side of the aisle and walk away with less delegates than their opponent. So if I'm at home tomorrow night, how do I really keep track?
You know, I'm not sure. You get a degree in mathematics, first of all, and you've got, you know, a couple running notebooks and a few experts on the phone. I have no idea. I mean, I'm pretty sure the headline coming out of tomorrow night will be Democratic race, you know, turns to February 12th and turns to Ohio and Texas. For all the reasons we've talked about, it doesn't look like right now that anything is going to be wrapped up by any means tomorrow. I think the best you can hope for is that one candidate or the other seems to win a majority of the states and gain some kind of momentum going forward. But again, because of this complicated delegate allotment formula, I'm not sure anyone will know, even until the next morning, who really did come out ahead on Tuesday.
Hey, Chris Wilson, I've got a minority view relative to President Bill Clinton. I think the guy is a tremendous asset out on the stump. And I also believe that in New Hampshire, he was of great value to Hillary when he called the Obama candidacy a fairy tale. And what I would suggest to you is take a look at what's going on now. Obama's got the momentum at a time when Clinton has had, you know, manners put on him, meaning Bill Clinton. Should the big dog be let back out in the pen?
Wow, Michael, you do have a minority view there, and I hesitate to disagree since it is your show, but at the same time, I would say...
Only for a night. You can disagree. Glenn will be back tomorrow.
I think some of the things that Clinton has done have been helpful. There's no question about that. I do think, however, that his comments specific to South Carolina and Jesse Jackson, trying to make that about race rather than about Obama's strength, did not place as well, and that's why he has been sort of rolled back in by his wife's campaign. But in terms of letting him back out, you know, as a Republican, I got to be honest, I love to see it, and it's fun to watch, and it makes for good television. But is it helping her campaign? I'd say if I were advising the Hillary Clinton campaign, I'd probably want to keep him a little bit closer to where he is right now than where he was about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Julian, if you believe the numbers, there's been erosion among females for Hillary to the benefit of Barack Obama. What would account for women abandoning Hillary in support of the Obama candidacy?
Well, I think she is still ahead with women. I think Obama has certainly picked up some ground. I think in large part because, look, he's running a brilliant campaign. He's running a very uplifting and spirited campaign. And I think he's appealing to everyone. He's appealing to base voters and to independents. So I think there's, you know, women have traditionally been with Hillary, but they're swayable like anybody else. Now, that said, I mean, I still want to emphasize here, while Obama has the momentum, Hillary is still substantially ahead. If you look at some of the key states like New Jersey, for example, she's still up by anywhere from 8 to 13 points, depending on what poll. So I think you just have to keep this in perspective. There tends to be a lot of hype the day before these primaries, a lot of predictions based on who's gaining most recently. But you really have to stand back and look at things in kind of a larger perspective here. And if you do, I still think, while, as I say, Obama's got the momentum, Hillary's still significantly ahead at this point.
Josh Green, the Latino vote would appear to be another key demographic, particularly in a state like California. How do you see that going?
I mean, the best lens in the Latino vote so far, and as far as tangible results, has been Nevada, where Obama lost very badly to Hillary Clinton, despite having the endorsement of a very strong union. So in that sense, things don't look real good for Obama. On the other hand, he did get the endorsement of the most important Latino newspaper in Los Angeles. His poll numbers seem to be a little bit better among Latinos. But if I were Obama, I think that would still be a concern for me.
Hey, we've talked about endorsements in the program tonight already with another special guest, Scott Rasmussen. I want to ask each of you, Chris Wilson and Julian Epstein and Josh Green, what is the most significant endorsement that has been made and obtained so far in the presidential race so far? Julian, we'll start with you.
Oprah, followed closely by Teddy Kennedy.
Is that right? And the value of, say, Maria Shriver?
Marginal.
Josh Green, the most significant endorsement to date has been what?
I'd flip those. I'd say Ted Kennedy over Oprah, just because Kennedy fans tend to be, I suspect, more enthusiastic primary voters.
Chris Wilson?
I'm going to speak to the general election here and say Lieberman of McCain. I really think that's going to allow McCain to bridge the gap in terms of his appeal for a general election candidacy.
If Gore should come out and endorse in the Democratic race, is the race over in support of whomever he selects?
I don't think so. I think Al Gore is a respected figure on the Democrat side of the aisle, but I don't think any endorsement is going to make that kind of difference. It would be a heavy blow to Clinton, no question about it, but you can't counter out because of it.
Gentlemen, other thoughts on the Gore factor?
I think Al Gore missed his window. If he had come out on Friday or Saturday and endorsed Barack Obama, it would have blotted out media coverage from now until Tuesday. It might have pushed Obama far enough that you really could have cleaned up on Super Tuesday. I think at this point, unless we come down to a very, very tight delegate race, I don't see a Gore endorsement having a huge effect.
My only thought about endorsements are that the effect that they have on voters are very secondary. A Gore endorsement would have a big effect on media coverage, much less effect on actual voters.
We pundits love that kind of stuff, don't we?
Yeah, so I don't think it would matter that much.
Hey, gents, thanks for being here. I really appreciate it.